Hello and welcome to this lesson. In this lesson, we are going to be talking of the speaking questions that were asked on the 21st of February. We will be going part by part. Before we plunge into the different questions, I just want to inform you that these questions are memory based and from different sources, and hence please take it with a pinch of salt. Please make sure that these are not the only questions that you learn. These are good references for you to base your preparation on so that you know what kind of questions are asked. But please make sure you're preparing in a way that you can handle any question that comes your way. Okay, on that note, let's begin. Part 1. In part 1, you had questions around your job and around trees, pretty discrete questions. Around your job, you had questions that look like this. What kind of a job do you do? So, you have to give a term, ideally, on what is the nature of your work. So, if you're in marketing or if you're in sales, you would say, I do a marketing job. I do a job that involves telecalling. Or you would say that I'm involved in factory operations, so on and so forth. Even if you don't know the exact term, please make sure you're describing your work. So, if you are a person who creates drawings for houses, okay, and then people say that, okay, my house orientation has to be like this, the living room has to be of these dimensions and so on, but you don't know what is it exactly called, then you would say that I'm involved in a work that requires me to design house plans for my clients. Okay, you would just go ahead and describe it. So it's not wrong if you do that too. Do you like what you're doing? For this question, it is a simple branch. Either you would say yes and you would go ahead and say why you like your job, or you would say no and you would describe reasons for why you don't like it. You can also take a middle ground. You can say, I like it sometimes when the projects are interesting, but at times when there's no work, it gets really boring. Okay, no harm saying that too. Do you see yourself doing this job in the future? An interesting question. So in future, do you see yourself doing the same job, do the same work? So are there enough prospects for that? So what would you say? You can say yes, because this is a very interesting job and I can have a very good career. Or you would say that though it's interesting, I would like to explore something else. Or you would say, no, there are no prospects whatsoever and I'm looking to change my job as soon as possible. Okay, there are different options here for you to take. Remember, none of these options are wrong. All it depends on is how you are expressing yourself. Are you fluent? Are you using good grammar? Are you able to use good words, less common words with idioms? And finally, are you able to pronounce the words right? Are you able to stress and pause at the right places? These are the parameters that you need to take care of. Then when we move into trees, are there many trees in your country? Interesting question. You can say yes, there are in fact several forests that make sure that the country is able to breathe healthily and comfortably. Or you would say no, there has been rapid urbanization due to which there has been deforestation across several acres of land, due to which several wild animals have come into cities at times. Take that position if you want to. Then you can say, have you planted a tree in your life? Well, you can say yes, or you can say no. You can have different options. You can say yes, you did it in your childhood, you've not done it now. Or you can say that I have done it in this particular manner. I have prepared the soil and then I sowed the seed. I waited for 10 days and then when the germination happened, I was delighted. You can talk about the whole process. Okay, just a few ideas that I want to sow in your mind so that you can build your answer accordingly. It would be great if you can practice your speaking as you watch this video. Next, we move to part 2. So in part 2, you have a cue card where you have 1 minute to prepare. You can take notes and then you will have to speak on this for 2 minutes, right? So the question was, describe a time when you encouraged someone to do something that he or she didn't want to do. So did you motivate someone to do something uncomfortable, okay, to do something that was required, but that person was uncomfortable doing it, nervous doing it? That's what you need to speak about here. So what you should say, these are some hints. Remember, these are not questions that you need to cover for sure. It's not mandatory. These are hints that you can use to build your answer because you have to speak all the way up to 2 minutes and 2 minutes is a long time. Okay. So you will say, who is the person? Was it your friend? Was it your mother, brother, sister, father, husband, wife? Okay. What you encouraged to do. So what was that person uncomfortable doing? And how did you encourage? Okay, so was it speaking on stage? Was it taking up a project? Was it speaking in a meeting? Or was this taking up an exam? So on and so forth. How did the person react? So you can say that initially that person was a little skeptical. He thought I was being over optimistic with my encouragement, but then I had to convince him or her in this way, that way, so on. Okay. Finally, why you had to encourage the person? Maybe that person was really scared, nervous, did not know the benefits of doing that activity, right? Different possibilities here. But please make sure that you are not overcomplicating it. Don't overthink any answer. Keep it simple, straightforward. Just express the actual scene and you will be fine. If you think too much about it, then the confusion will arise. So just make sure of that. Then we move to part 3. In part 3, you will have slightly different questions, right? So these questions will look significantly different from these questions. Why so? Because part 1 is about your life. What kind of job do you do? Do you like your work that you are doing? So it's simple. You already have the answer. You just have to express yourself. In part 3, you are asked your opinion. What is your perspective on the world? What is your take on the world? Okay. So how should leaders motivate their employees? What do you think? Multiple answers. You can say, you can talk about intrinsic motivation. You can say that I will simply show the employees, or leaders should show their employees on how they're impacting lives of others. And that should be a good motivation. Or you can say that leaders should give their employees more bonuses, more incentives, because at the end of the day, everyone is trying to put food on their plate, and leaders should assist employees in achieving this goal. Okay, no answer is wrong as long as you're able to express it properly. In what ways can parents encourage children? Now see, the question is changing. From leaders to employees, it's coming to parents and children. Again, multiple ways. In what ways is basically the same question of how. So you can say parents can give gifts to children, they can spend time with them, they can crack jokes with them, they can play some games with them. Okay? Keep developing your answer. All you need is one particular thread, and then you go on and build your story. Next, when should parents encourage children? So when we are talking about when, it basically asks you in what situations. So when children are doing something good, you encourage them. When they're doing something difficult, you encourage them. But when they're doing something bad, do you encourage them? No. Right? Whenever they're on the right path, you give them that additional encouragement to take it further. Okay. So these are some of the ideas, methods by which you can elaborate your speech and get a very good score. So these were the questions that were asked on the 21st of February. Make sure that you're doing this entire drill properly so that you practice your speaking skills and make them better. Now, if you wish to join our advanced programs, especially the fast track program that has been instrumental in getting several students their desired scores, just fill up the admissions form below. It's on the video description. Once you fill it up, our counselor will get in touch with you. We will understand your preparation, where you stand, what are your weaknesses, and how you should proceed further, and so on. And we will help you with getting in. Okay, so get started with your preparation. I wish to see you in the future lessons as well. All the best. Do like the video, comment, subscribe, and we'll be in touch with all the future lessons. Take care. Bye-bye.